Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We head back to September 26, 1952, the very first episode of Frontier Town, starring Jeff-Chandler, billed in this series as Tex-Chandler, and Wade Crosby as Cherokee O'Bannon. Yes, a snake oil peddler, if you will. This episode is entitled Return to Dos Rios.
Frontier Town, the saga of the Roaring West. Frontier Town. El Paso, Cheyenne, Powder River, Tombstone. Frontier Town. Here is the adventurous story of the early West. The tamed and untamed, from Cheyenne to Calgary, from Dodge City to Poker Flat. These are the towns they fought to live in and lived to fight for. Teeming crucibles of freedom. Frontier Town!
Frontier Town, huh? Yes, I guess that's what most folks would call Dos Rios. A frontier town. Loud and lusty. Tough and tumbling like a score of other frontier towns. El Paso, Cheyenne, Tombstone. The only difference probably is the name of the town. Dos Rios, that's Spanish for two rivers. My name is Remington, Chad Remington. Born in Dos Rios 20-odd years ago. And reared there until I went upstate to school to study law. And I wouldn't have come back, I guess, if I hadn't gotten word that my father was found murdered. Murdered in cold blood. So I threw a few things into a carpet bag, took the first stagecoach out of Denver, and then stretched my long legs by walking the familiar rutted street past the stores with false fronts, and a half-dozen saloons, over to the white adobe house that belongs to Judge Fillmore and his daughter Libby.
I thought Father should have written you a letter, Chad. Still think it would have been easier on you since there was nothing you could do about it anymore.
You always wanted to let me down easy, Libby. The judge was right telegraphing me.
I was sure that's the way you'd feel about it, my boy.
Exactly what happened?
They found your father face down in the corral with an arrow between his shoulder blades.
Arrow?
It was an arrow, all right, Chad. Regular Injun arrow. Minute I heard, I rode right out to his ranch myself.
No Indians around Dos Rios? No bad Indians?
Folks around here don't think so. They blamed it on John Tallfeather, the Indian who used to work for your father.
John Tallfeather was as fond of my father as I am. What's more, John was a Choctaw, and Choctaws haven't used arrows since the Mexican Wars. Where is John? I'm going out and tell him I don't believe all that loose-mouthed gossip.
John Tallfeather's dead, Chad. They strung him up the same night your father was found.
Strung him up? Who strung him up?
A mob.
A mob headed by your father's own neighbors, Rafe and Breck Kincaid.
Kincaids? Oh, I should have known. This is no backwoods we're living in any longer. It may be the frontier, but it's the frontier of civilization.
I've heard you make that speech before, my boy. For all the good it does.
This country will never be anything but a lawless wilderness until men learn to respect the due processes of law. Why do they think I left the ranch and went off to school?
We know, Chad. We agree with you. But while there are people around like the Kincaids, what are you going to do?
I'm going to do something, and you can bet on that.
Now, don't go flying off the handle, young man. The Kincaids are gunfighters, both of them.
A lot worse than that if they lynched poor John Tallfeather. And if there's any law in this country at all, they're going to pay for it. If you and Libby will excuse me, Judge, I'll leave my bags here.
Of course, Chad, but where are you going?
To start with, down to the livery stable. I'm renting myself a horse.
Not only can you have a horse and the best horse the livery stable provides, but you can have money and a bottle. What am I saying? And the shirt right off my back.
Cherokee, you haven't changed one bit. You sound just the way you did when I met you for the first time, peddling genuine Cherokee rattlesnake oil off the back of that big wagon.
Yes, Chad, you remember, don't you? Yes, sirree. Now, if you just gather around closer, friends, I want to call your attention to this little preparation I hold here in my hand. This little bottle is sold regularly for $3 everywhere. Now, you want to know what this little article does, and I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It removes warts, blemishes, bunions, and freckles. Cures colds, rheumatism,
Whoa there, you old horse thief.
Horsey?
Your Honor, I'll amend my complaint. I'll just make it Dr. Cherokee O'Bannon.
Thank you, counsel. Objections sustained. Come on, I'll get you a horse. Yes, indeed. One of the quietest, gentlest, broken-down hay burners I've got for a fancy-pants city lawyer.
If you know what's good for you, O'Bannon, you won't call me Fancy Pants.
Don't worry, Chad. I've seen you ride. I've got a good nag for you. But do you mind, my boy, if
If what?
I'd like to ride along with you, if it's all right with you.
Well, come along, Cherokee. I'd enjoy having your company. Now, if you'll just get the horses, I'd like to be on my way.
Well, Chad, there's your ranch. You can see it right through them aspens. It hasn't changed much, has it?
No, not a bit. There's the creek and the cottonwoods where I used to swim when I played hooky from... Oh boy, hold it.
What's up? What's stopped for?
Unless I'm mistaken, and I don't think I am, someone's moved our wire. Our fence used to run along the other side of the creek up to that saddle rock.
Sure it used to, but it doesn't anymore. I thought you knew.
Knew what?
Well, last spring, there was a big rock slide right over there. Filled the old creek bottom with rocks and changed the course of the stream. So your father sold that little strip at the Kincaid.
Are you sure, Cherokee? Because without water, there's a quarter of a section over here wouldn't raise gophers.
Now, the way I heard it, on account of you moving upstate to be a lawyer, your father was selling off his cattle. Didn't care about the water.
Selling off? Well, that's ridiculous. Wasn't a month ago, he wrote me to go over to the stock show at the Capitol and see if I couldn't find him a new Hereford breeding bull.
Well, I'll be a squoingin's off ox. He sure wouldn't be buying any bull if he was giving up ranching now, would he? Don't think he would.
Come on, Cherokee. Turn that pony around. We're riding over and paying a call on Rafe and Breck Kincaid.
Get around there, you long-legged, loose-jointed shuffle-cussy. Come on, let's be off!
Neither Rafe nor Breck seemed surprised to see me. But they did seem a little shocked when I started to ask questions about this strip of land Cherokee said my father had sold them. Well, maybe shocked isn't the right word at that. They were indignant. Indignant and downright hostile.
You mean to say you think I'm lying, Remington?
I'm not meaning to say anything, Rafe. I just asked you and Breck a very simple question.
What do you mean, simple question? You asked us to show you the deed your old man signed when we bought that property from him.
I know what I asked, Breck, but I still have to see the deed.
Why, I got a good mind.
If you really had a good mind, Rafe, you wouldn't go reaching for your gun. I'm not wearing one.
Yeah, I forgot. You're the holier-than-thou gent who didn't like the way your neighbors ran your hometown. You went away to college.
Sure, he was too good for us.
I can force you to produce that deed, you know.
Oh, you can? Well, you wouldn't like to try it, would you?
I don't mean beat it out of you, although I believe I still could.
He believes he still could, Rafe.
Whether you two realize it or not, we have a court in this county. And I could make you produce the deed in court. I just didn't think that'd be a friendly thing to do.
You're not getting no place trying to butter us up with that friendly talk.
Ah, let it go, Breck. The deed's over in the table drawer. Get it and show it to Mr. High and Mighty.
I'd appreciate it very much if you would.
Your father would turn over in his grave if he knew what a dude he had for his son.
The less you two have to say about my father, the better off we'll be. All of us.
Here, look for yourself. That's the deed.
That's the deed, all right.
Well, now you satisfied?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. This signature's a forgery.
Why, you low-down mealy
Go on,
mouth.
Rafe. Squeeze trigger if you want to. I don't think even you would want to go into court for gunning down an unarmed man.
Yeah? Well, who's to say you weren't packing a gun?
Rafe's right. He's got me as a witness. You're a lawyer. You know what witnesses are, don't you?
Chad, you called me a liar. You said I forged that deed. Nobody calls me them names and goes on living.
And I imagine you've killed men for a lot less, too. Well, if you got the salt to shoot while I'm standing in front of...
Hey, what's...
Drop that gun, Rafe!
Rafe, it's Cherokee. Chad must have left him outside.
Yeah, I'd forgotten I had, but... Well, Rafe?
You gonna let that shooting iron go or not? Next one won't be just a warning. And even my Cherokee Indian rattlesnake oil never cured one from 5 bullet holes.
Go on, Rafe. Cherokee's got the drop on you.
That's better. Come on, Chad. It's time you were leaving.
You're right, Cherokee.
Go on, Slope. And the next time you come up here, I'm shooting you for trespassing.
Thanks for your advice, Rafe. And for your help, too. I'll be seeing you again. Soon.
Remington, next time I see you, you better be packing a gun. Because I will, and I'll be looking for you.
I intend to be looking for you, too. Both of you. Adios.
Doggone it, Rafe. If he goes around town and shooting off that big mouth of his...
Shut up, Brick.
Huh?
I ain't afraid of no man who's scared to pack a gun. He had his chance while he was here, and he throwed it. Yes, sir. I always knowed it. That one's yellow. Yellow clean through.
September 26, 1952, Frontier Town on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medishare right now. Medishare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medishare can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Frontier Town, September 23rd, 1952.
Well, when we left the Kincaid's ranch, I was pretty firmly convinced that my father's signature had been forged on the deed under which the Kincaids claimed title to the creek and that strip of land around it. Cherokee and I pounded leather and left a trail of dust all the way from the Kincaids to Judge Fillmore's house in Dos Rios.
But, Chad, are you sure?
Why, Miss Libby, Chad's sure about this, and I am that my Cherokee Indian rattlesnake oil is an absolute and positive cure for 89 ailments of man. All the way from double pneumonia to hangnails.
I'm even surer than that. I'm as sure as anyone can be. Why, even seeing the deed for the few seconds I did, you couldn't miss the even pressure of the pen on the paper. And no one writing normally writes that way.
You mean to say it was traced?
And it was traced or copied or... I just know that my father didn't write it there himself.
I hate to sound like a judge, my boy, but do you think you're going to be able to prove it?
Well, Judge, I hate to sound like a lawyer, but I've either got to prove that or leave town.
Now, of course, I'm a doctor. Pardon the expression. Not a lawyer, but it seems reasonable and sensible to me, Chad, my boy, that we go down and have a little talk with the warden. I mean the marshal.
It isn't often that I can agree with someone in Dr. O'Bannon's profession, but this time I think he's right.
Well, Chad, If you'd like, we'll all go along with you. Look, Chad, the marshal must be in. That's his horse tied off in front.
Good, because I'm in no mood to waste any time.
You know what he means by that, Miss Libby? He's aiming on getting back upstate, not staying here.
Oh, Chad, not really.
I'm afraid so, Libby. This lynching, these threats from the Kincaids, nothing's changed here. It's still the same boisterous, belligerent frontier town.
Well, now, Chad, it's not as bad as all that.
Here, let me open the door for you. And if you don't mind, I'll wait for you here outside. I always feel a little strange when the door closes behind me in a marshal's office.
With what's on your conscience, I'm not surprised. After you, Libby.
Well, Chad Remington, I was expecting you'd come back to Dos Rios, but I'm downright sorry that it had to be under these circumstances. Oh, howdy, Judge, Miss Libby.
Hello, Marshal.
Marshal, Chad would like to ask you a few questions about his father's death.
My father's murder?
You're sure right about that, son. That locoed Injun hit him smack between the shoulder blades, like a target was painted there.
I suppose you know the Choctaws gave up bow and arrow fighting years ago, Marshal.
Of course they did. John Tallfeather reckoned that knowing it, we wouldn't blame it on him. But when I found that bow hidden under his bunk, I had him dead to rights.
You found the bow?
Well, I got it right here. There. That's the thing that done in your father.
Oh, thanks. Well, it takes a mighty strong man to bend this bow. John Tallfeather not only was old, but he'd been sick for years.
Well, he had enough strength left to pull it once.
Marshal, how is it since you found this evidence you didn't arrest John and bring him in here?
Well, there was 3 or 4 boys with me when I rode out to your father's place, and then the Kincaid brother joined us. And, well, I reckon there's no reasoning with a bunch of angry men, especially when right's on their side.
In other words, you just stood aside, let him take your suspect and string him up?
Suspect nothing. I tell you, we had him dead to rights.
Well, you wouldn't have had him dead to rights in my court without more proof than that.
Oh, no use getting excited about it now, Judge. Did you find anything else that day, Marshal?
No, I can't say that. By cinders, I did bring something else in that you probably want. Your dad's belt, holster, and gun. I got him right here in the desk.
Yes, Marshal, I'd like to have his gun.
Well, here you are, son. And I hope you understand.
Yes, I'm starting to understand. A lot. I'll see you again soon, Marshal.
Come on, Libby.
Doggone it, Chad, I almost went in to get you. Guess who just rolled into town? Never mind, I'll tell you, Rafe and Kincaid.
Were they looking for me?
Could be.
That's good. Very good.
Chad, you don't mean that you're going down
Make a target of myself for him, Libby? No. But I am going to strap this on. Oh, now, don't look at me as though your eyes are going to pop out of your head, Libby. I'm fully grown now. I'm reasonably able to take care of myself.
Chad, you'll be careful.
I'm being doubly careful. I'm taking a bodyguard with me. If Cherokee and I find what I hope we'll find, you can get out your law books, Judge, because we'll be having a case for you to try in your court mighty soon. With the Kincaid brothers in town, it certainly seemed safe to go back out to their ranch. When we got there, I headed straight for the desk where the so-called deed was kept, while Cherokee started to ransack the rest of the house. Suddenly, I could hear Cherokee's heavy boots come pounding toward me from another room.
Chad! Hey, Chad, you certainly played the right hunch. Look here.
Where'd you find those, Cherokee?
In a bedroll in the back room. This is only a few of them. There must be 20, 30 arrowheads back there.
So John Tallfeather murdered my father, hmm? Those filthy, cold-blooded swine.
Sure, the Kincaids done. Hey, what's that you got there? That paper.
Enough with those arrowheads to put the noose around the Kincaids' necks. Here, see, they bought some land from my father, all right, but not the piece down by the creek. Here's the deed for 10 acres up on the north side next to their grove of jack pines. All they did was to copy his signature off this deed and trace it on the other.
Yeah. Even I can see the difference when they're side by side. Well, Chad, I suppose now you're going back into town and call them out, eh?
No, Cherokee, I'm not. I'm taking this evidence into the marshal and swearing out a warrant for their arrest.
Huh? Well, you sound like you've been drinking rattlesnake oil. Why, them two would never let themselves be arrested.
Oh, have they got everybody bluffed around here? Come on, Cherokee. We're getting back to town. Come on, Cherokee. There are only two places we haven't been to, and... Well... There are the Kincaid's horses tied up in front of the Lucky 7 casino. You see the brands, K-Bar-O?
You're darn right I do. Why, the bushwhacking buzzards?
Go fetch the marshal. I'm waiting here to make sure they don't get away.
Jeff-Chandler would star in the first half of this series as Tex-Chandler. Reed Hadley, best known for portraying Red Ryder, would portray him for the second half. Frontier Town, September 23rd, 1952, first episode of the series on Classic Radio Theater.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
800-477-4612. 800-477-4612. 800-477-4612. That's 800-477-4612. Paid for by Want to Sell.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Frontier Town, the very first episode, September 26th, 1952.
You can see them both from here, Marshal, at the faro table.
Well, doggone it, Chad. This ain't no time to try to haul them to jail. They've been drinking. And, well, them two is ornery enough cold sober.
I'm sorry you don't like your job, Marshal. But maybe if you liked it a little better, it wouldn't be necessary to do things like this here in Dos Rios.
No, you see here, Chad Remington. I don't take lip like that from no man.
You'll be taking a lot more than that if you don't get busy. Now, come on, we're going inside.
Well, but mark my words, we're not having no shooting scrapes.
Marshal, if I were you, I'd start moving.
Come on.
Just keep walking, Marshal.
I'm betting another 100. And if the house will take off the limit, I'll...
Sorry to interrupt your game, Rafe, but your luck's just run out anyhow.
Remember what I told you this morning? I said next time I saw you, I was gonna... Rafe, I'm warning you. Don't try scratching leather.
Well, look who's here. The dude brought the law with him.
You want something, Marshal? Well, Chad here sent for me. Says he's got some kind of proof you killed his father.
What?
So he thinks I killed his father, does he? Well, if I thought someone shot my father, I wouldn't need any lawman to take care of him.
We've got laws to handle things like that. They're plenty good enough for me.
Marshal, I got an idea.
Yeah, just bet he has. I just bet he has.
Since Chad wants us arrested, why don't you deputize him? Then, being the law he thinks so high of, he can take us down to the calaboose. If he thinks he can. Rafe, now, I didn't come in here looking for trouble, and You being on the prod ain't helping me none.
Marshal, are you going to arrest the Kincaids?
Sure. But if they ain't gonna come peaceful, then, well, I'm going back and get me a couple of deputies.
All right, Marshal. I don't intend to tell you how to run your job. Go on. I'm going to stay here and wait for you.
Okay, Chad, but don't you go stirring up no trouble while I'm gone.
Him? Stir up trouble? Don't make me laugh.
That marshal's a card, ain't he? Real brave hombre. Couldn't wait to run out.
I didn't run out.
Remington, this morning you called me a liar and a crook. Now you come in here calling me a murderer.
That's right, Rafe. I called you a liar, a crook, and a murderer.
And we haven't even started yet.
Mister, I got only one thing to tell you. Go for your gun.
Sorry. That's one piece of advice I can't take.
You're right, Rafe. This Jasper's yellow.
Sure he is. Yellow. Clean through.
You're gonna find out, Rafe, if I am or not.
Yeah? How? You gonna hit me with a wet handkerchief or something? You ain't got the salt to clear your holster.
The only time I draw a gun is in self-defense. I don't know why you don't fill your hand.
Why should I?
Well, because I called you a liar. I've called you a crook, and I'm calling you a cold-blooded, sneaking murderer. Well, even I wouldn't let a man call me that to my face. Go on. You got quite a reputation for slinging guns. What's stopping you now?
Blast you! Get out of here before I blow you out.
To blow me out, you'll have to draw, and I'm waiting. Rafe, I knew you were everything miserable a man could be, but I never thought you were as spineless as a gutless coward.
Why, you dirty...
Hey, you let him draw first, you still the beat into the... Chad, Doc, break behind you.
Throw down behind me, will you? Breck, drop that gun, Breck. Drop it before I have to break you. All right, Breck. Now we don't need the marshal. The one Kincaid that's left is going to jail anyhow.
Well, Chad?
Well, Libby?
It's just that... Well, I hate saying goodbye.
I hate saying goodbye to, everyone?
Well, you will write, won't you?
Well, I might. Not that it'll do much good, I'm afraid, Libby.
Not that it'll do... Chad, what do you mean?
I always heard women knew everything by intuition.
You mean that there's someone else upstate? Someone you're going to marry?
Upstate? Now, who mentioned upstate?
But now, with Rafe dead and Breck Kincaid sentenced, you're leaving town again, aren't you?
Well, yes. I'm going about 12 miles out of town, Libby. I'm moving into my father's ranch.
Oh, Chad, you're not.
I sure am. Now, I guess there's enough trouble around Dos Rios for another good lawyer. Yep, Libby, I've come home.
Oh.
Well, you ain't never going to get home if you don't get started, you sage-bus Romeo.
How about inviting me for dinner tomorrow night, huh?
Oh, Chad, of course.
Well, then, we'll be seeing you, Libby. Get started, Cherokee. We got miles to cover. Hey, up there, boy. Make tracks. And don't forget, Libby, my weakness is apple pie.
Frontier Town, starring Tex-Chandler, came to you from Hollywood. The series is directed by Paul Franklin and supervised by Joel Murcott. The music is composed and played by Bob Mitchell. Be sure to be with us again, this time 1 week from today, for another fine action-adventure story with your favorite young Western star, Tex Chandler. Frontier Town is a Bruce Ells production.
September 26, 1952, Frontier Town on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Attention Walmart shoppers. Now you can order one of the most advanced hearing aids on the market for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. Hearing Assist's most advanced product lineup includes models that use an exclusive app for enhanced control over what you want to hear. It's perfect if you have a smartphone or iPhone to hear everything better. And we have 2 great ways for you to get one. You can call the number at the end of this ad and order directly. Or you can call this same number and we will text you a complete list of Walmart Vision Center locations. We make it easy for you to hear better. Remember, call this number today to order and have a text message instantly sent to your phone to find the Walmart Vision Center near you. Here's that special number.
Call 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. That's 800-360-0597.
Now that we've dealt with the saga of the Old West, let's deal with some saga of some old corn as we go to 79 Wistful Vista and check out what was going on in the household of Fibber McGee and Molly. This episode, entitled Feed 'em and Weep, was originally broadcast September 26, 1954.
It's time for Fibber McGee and Molly. Sundays through Thursdays, NBC brings you Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Ralph Goodman and directed by Max Hutto. It's a late Sunday afternoon at 79 Wistful Vista. Almost dinner time. And the master of the house is hungrily pacing the floor. The back door opens and...
Grocery boy!
Oh, hi, old-timer. I had a feeling that was you the minute all the pictures fell off the wall. Did you bring the stuff?
Yep. Paid it pretty fast, too, considering the market ain't open today.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. It's Sunday. Gee, I never would ask you if I'd...
That's okay. Picked up the stuff you wanted at Kramer's.
Oh, thanks, old-timer. I appreciate this. I'm as hungry as a bear.
Here you are. 2 cans of dog food and 1 large box of canine kibble.
Thanks. Hey, Molly, the food's here. Get a pan out and let's get started, huh?
Oh, good. Hello, Mr. Oldtimer. Did you set the table, dearie?
Yeah. Here's a can opener. You need anything else?
No, that's about it.
Good. Boy, I'm hungry. Well, let's get this over with.
Now, don't get impatient. This won't take long.
Yeah, I know, but...
Mort and Mabel Toops have done a lot of favors for us, and the least we can do is go over and feed their dog while they're away. We'll eat when we come back. I've got a nice roast in the oven.
I knew if I just kept my mouth shut long enough, this thing would work itself out.
I beg your pardon?
Well, all that dog food there and Johnny hungry and the table all set.
No, I'm not that hungry. That stuff's for Toops' dog.
Yeah.
They went to visit Mort's folks, and they won't be back till tomorrow morning, so we're feeding Fido for him.
No. Well, when you see that monster of theirs, kids, give him my regards. He's already got 2 pairs of my pants.
No kidding. I never saw the dog. Is he vicious?
Vicious? Why, Johnny, I could show you bite marks that... oh, no, not with daughter here. Well, I better trot along, I guess. Got a date tonight with Bessie.
Oh, you and Bessie stepping out?
Oh, we sure are, daughter. Painting the town. That's what I got this $20 bill with me for. See here? Look at that.
20 smackers. Wow, you must be planning a big evening.
Yep. Got the itinerary and wrote down this order blank here.
Oh?
Now, I'll read it to you. First, we're going to a nice place for dinner. That's $5. Then to the picture show, widescreen, panorama scope and color with 3D added, 80 cents.
80 cents?
I sneak in the back.
Oh.
Now, from there, we catch a bus, 40 cents, out to Dugan's Lake Pavilion for dancing, $2.50, and then taxi fare back home for some smooching in the parlor. Makes a grand total $12.40, including tax and $1 for her kid brother, so he'll go to bed.
Her kid brother?
He's 62, but he still likes to sit and watch.
Boy, that's going to knock quite a hole in your $20 bill.
Won't hurt it a bit, Johnny. Bessie pays all the expenses.
But you just showed us a 20 and said you're taking it to...
That's the way it works, son. Everywhere we go, I pull out this bill, and I says, you got any change, baby? All I got is this $20 bill.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Works every time. Been doing it for months.
You mean you keep working that stale old gag and Bessie hasn't caught on yet?
Well, now, maybe she has and maybe she hasn't. But the way I got it figured, there's one big reason why Bessie keeps falling for that old chestnut.
What's that?
Because she fell for this old chestnut first. So long, kid, and good luck with the dog.
So long. Look, Molly, as long as the roast is ready and the table's all set, let's eat first before we go over to Toops's. I'm starving.
Oh, now, you're not afraid of that dog, are you?
Me? Ha, of course not. But I'm dying. Gee whiz. That roast smells so good and gee whiz. I know that dog is probably hungry, but I'm hungrier, and I don't see why...
All right, McGee, relax. We'll eat. It'd probably be dangerous to go over there right now anyhow.
Why, what you mean? You think that dog's apt to take my leg off?
No, but with you as hungry as you are, I'm afraid you two'd get in a fight over the dog biscuits, and I'd hate for Toops' dog to get hurt.
Oh, you're joshing me.
Get the carving knife, and I'll put the roast on the table.
Now, here's the house.
Get the key. It's under the doormat there.
Well, look who's out for a Sunday night stroll.
Ah.
Hiya, Molly. Who's your friend?
Hello, Dr. Gamble.
Well, look who's here. Jolly, jovial old George Gamble, M.B.
That's M.D., McGee.
It is? Is that what them initials on your bag say, George? M.D.?
Well, certainly. M.D., Doctor of Medicine. What else?
Well, I'll be darned. In all these years, I've always thought it was M.B., Master Butcher.
Oh,
They tell me at the drugstore that you studied with Swift & Company. Did your postgraduate work at Armour's and interned at the packing house.
McGee.
My goodness, how could they make a mistake like that?
Oh, we all make mistakes, my boy. That's why you are here.
Let's go, Molly. Let's get on in here.
We promised to feed Toops' dog while they're away, Doctor. I've got the dog food here.
Hey, from the sound of that, I think he's ready to be fed.
Yeah, get the key and unlock the door, McGee.
Gee, I don't know. He sure don't sound friendly. Maybe we ought to...
He's just hungry, that's all. Open a can of dog food, unlock the door, and hand it to him. After that, he'll be your friend for life.
You think so, Doc? You sure he won't bite me the minute I open the door?
When he smells the food, he'll be as gentle as a lamb. I'll give you a guarantee on it.
Yeah?
If I'm mistaken about that dog, I'll sew your leg up free.
Well, that's right. Well, huh?
So long, Molly.
Goodbye, Doctor. Open the dog food while I open the door. Let's get this over with.
Boy, look at that guy eat, will you? Doc was right. As soon as the dog saw that food, he was as friendly as a loan shark with a new customer.
Well, he's just about finished.
I hope so.
Get the leash off the living room table and we'll walk him around the block, okay?
Okay. Probably take us both to hold him. I hope he don't run across any cats. Hey, look at him. Here he comes. Look what he's doing, will you? Sitting down right in front of the door.
Isn't that cute? I guess he knows he's going out.
Well, I'll just hook the leash on him and...
No! He's not going to get nasty again, is he?
Well, you don't have to go walking on my account. Let him sit there. Come on, let's go home.
For goodness sakes, he doesn't want us to leave. Come on, doggy, move out of the way. We've got to go.
He keeps blocking my way. Get out of the way, you big bully. Doggone it, we fed you now. Come on, we're tired. We want to get out of here and go home to bed. Please step aside.
Heavenly days, if this isn't the silliest... Well, come on, let's go out the back door. Let him sit there, the silly dog. Whoops!
He must have heard you. Oh, he's got us blocked again.
Maybe if we make a run for the front door while he's blocking the kitchen.
Oh, this is ridiculous. No matter which way... Hey, you got Mabel's phone number? Where she's visiting? The one she gave us for an emergency?
Yes, it's right here in my purse.
Well, dig it out and get her on the phone. If this ain't an emergency, I never saw one. All the stupid, idiotic pups I ever saw this one.
That's right, Mabel. Every time we make a move to leave the house, he blocks our way and starts growling.
Oh, I'm sorry, Molly. Well, put him on, will you?
What?
Let me talk to him. To Tarzan, the dog.
Oh, it's for you, Tarzan.
Tarzan, now you behave yourself, you hear me? Sit down now. Sit. What's he doing now, Molly? Is he sitting?
Yeah, he's sitting in front of the mantel. McGee's sitting on top of the mantel.
Did you tell her we even tried sneaking out a window, but he wouldn't let us?
Yes, dearie. Hush, I can't hear. Well, Mabel, now what?
He won't let you out the front door or the back, huh?
No, nor the window even.
Well, I tell you what you better do, Ma. If you'll run upstairs and look in my closet, you'll
Ah, boy. I was beginning to think we'd never get to bed. You tired?
Beat. Oh, am I glad to get to bed.
Boy.
The next time I offer to feed a neighbor's dog while the neighbors are out of town, throw a collar and a leash on me and tie me up, will you?
I'll say I will. How's the bed? Comfortable?
Wonderful. Mabel said they got a very good buy on these mattresses at the Bonton.
Yeah. Hey, how do you like me in Mort's pajamas? Pretty snazzy, huh?
Very cute.
Yeah.
Before you turn out the light, hang up Mabel's robe for me, will you?
Okay.
They'll be home early in the morning, and I don't want her bedroom all mussed up because she's a very...
Hey, Molly. Molly, you asleep?
Not anymore. What's the matter?
I wonder where that dog is.
He was at the foot of the steps when we came up to bed. Why?
I'm hungry. I think I'll sneak downstairs and see what Toopses have got in their icebox.
Oh, now, McGee, you shouldn't do that.
Why not? Gee whiz, we're stuck here till tomorrow. No, I guess you're right. Wouldn't be polite. Good night.
Good night, all.
Fibber McGee and Molly is an NBC Radio Network production transcribed, with Bill Thompson as the old-timer, Arthur Q. Bryan as Dr. Gamble, Mary Jane Croft as Mabel Toops, and Fritz Feld as Tarzan the dog. This is John Wald inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night as the telephone causes trouble for Mr. McGee of Fibber McGee and Molly.
September 26, 1954, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
We are the vocal parents of the local PTA. We're gathered here because we fear that 10 years from today, the younger generation of a growing population will look to us for leadership, will look at us and say, we have no alma maters. With or without swimming pools, we have no alma maters because we have no schools.
Our children are growing faster than our schools, and 10 years from today, conditions may become desperate unless we do something about it now. If you'd like to do something constructive about it now, write to Better Schools, 9 East 40th Street, New York 16, New York.
We can have the schools we need 10 years from today.
Many thanks for making us a part of your day here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hope you'll do us a favor. Thank this station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. Now, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single episode of Classic Radio Theater. You can hear all of our shows on demand at my webpage. That is classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. At that website, you can stream our shows on demand. There's also a listing of sites where you can download our shows. You can also learn more about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also contact me. You find our social media links there. And in addition, you can buy me a coffee. Now, buying me a coffee doesn't buy me coffee because I don't drink coffee. However, we use that money that people give us to buy me a coffee to acquire additional classic radio collections to bring you here on the radio. That webpage again, classicradio.stream, classicradio.stream. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.